Once you choose hope, anything is possible. No matter how many times we stumble or we fall, we always have the power to get back up on our feet and keep ourselves going and have hope for tomorrow. I'm Jacob Cramer, the founder of Love for the Elderly, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hi.
Jacob, how are you, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. So, how old are you, Jacob?
I'm 15.
Awesome. All right, so we are doing this in a recording, so this will be a podcast and a YouTube video down the road here in a few months. So, it's Jacob Cramer, right?
Yes.
And you have an organization. It says, I love the way this is said. It says you are the founder and executive director of Love for the Elderly. That just about covers the entire globe. That makes me your target audience, right?
I don't know.
So you're out there crusading and really reaching out to people who are truly in those last stages of life. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you're speaking all over the world. Is that true?
I reach out all over the world, but I mainly do like speaking events locally.
Okay. That's really cool. And you were on a TEDx recently too, weren't you?
Yeah, I've done multiple TEDx's. They're a lot of fun.
That's really cool. That's very cool, man. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So why in the world is a 15-year-old kid so interested in the elderly? You got a few years before that's your stage of life.
So I'll talk about this more in the podcast, but
I don't want. Yeah, I won't get you there soon. If you me just, yeah, I can wait.
Yeah, I guess you'll be surprised, or not surprised, but you'll hear it when I
That
talk.
sounds
about
good.
it.
We'll take it in order.
Yeah,
And you're in Cleveland, Ohio. Is that right?
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, very cool. And besides recording interviews on podcasts and dealing with elderly issues, what do you do in your life?
Like other things I like to do. I don't know. I like to hang out with my friends, like things like a normal teenager. I have school. That's a big commitment.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. I have a 15-year-old, and he's my oldest, so I get that. He's great. Great kid. All right, so let's do this then, Jacob Cramer. Every time I say Kramer, I think of that character on Seinfeld, so that's really fun. All right, Jacob. So let's answer these questions, and you can answer them however you want. As you know, we're interviewing 1,000 people all over the globe, literally a cross-section of global population. So we're taking the UN data and all the data from the countries, and we slice it down as much as we can. And we try to get one representative for every 8 million people on the planet. So you're definitely representing a lot of other teenagers out there. So do well, okay? You there?
Yeah, you keep freezing on me. I'm not sure why.
Can you hear me, or is it just losing video?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just like froze for a second.
Well, it's really cold here, so maybe I'm just really cold. All right. So if you got all that though, we're good. So you're doing the survey. You're one of 1,000 people, and you're representing 8 million teenagers. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's great. That's very flattering.
Well, great. All right. So these are the questions I ask, and you answer them however you want. You can decide how this goes. This is about you, not about anybody else.
Okay.
So, what is your definition of quote, or your definition of hope? Sorry, your definition of hope, or your favorite quote about hope?
Well, first of all, yeah, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. My favorite quote about hope, honestly, like I don't think in my 15 years of life I have the experience to be able to like hold enough wisdom or knowledge to be able to like come up with my own definition of hope at its core. But I do think that hope is something that I've experienced and witnessed on so many levels. So, and I'd like to think that because of my age, I also hold a unique perspective. And personally, I came up with a quote before I came here from Christopher Reeve, and it is, once you choose hope, anything is possible. And I first stumbled upon that quote a couple years ago while searching the web for some inspiration to help me power through my long day ahead of me. And I was instantly compelled to it because it really resonated with me. And like ultimately, no matter how many times uh, no matter how many times we stumble or we fall, we always have the power to get back up on our feet and keep ourselves going and have hope for tomorrow. So,
That's great.
yeah, it's just a really powerful quote to me.
That's awesome. That's great. I think you do have a unique perspective. I'm super excited about this interview because you do have a perspective that I don't know if adults lose some of it or or gain something else, but whatever it is, it changes the perspective that we have when we're younger, and it's a good thing you've got. So that's great. Keep it going. Don't lose it.
Thank you so much.
So number two is who's shared the most hope with you? You've had 15 long years so far. Who's been really giving you hope so far?
I think that the person who has given me the greatest amount of hope for my future is definitely my mom. Uh, Regardless of how her day is going or the amount of stress that she's under, which is quite frankly pretty much perpetual, she always manages to stay optimistic and positive with a smile on her face. And that's something that I really always admire. And for that reason, I look up to her very much.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Way to go, Mom. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that. Well, that's super. Okay, so let's go for three then. Tell us about a time that you've experienced in your life where you've had to really rely on hope to get you through something tough.
Um, Throughout much of my life, and especially my middle school years, I've always been a person who's very hard on themselves.
Mm.
And I always beat myself up after I do something wrong or something that I don't think is exactly up to my standards. And my
Mhm.
standards are very high, and that makes it really difficult because I'm a total perfectionist and I always want to give like 110% into everything I do. But that can be very hard. So when I fall short of my personal standards, this can lead to a lot of stress on myself, which quite frankly poses as a heavy burden on my shoulders that I carry around all the time. Um, One particular time that I experienced this stress was last year. I felt really overwhelmed by everything in my life, and it was tough for me. But I managed to find a lot of inspiration in the people around me, which included my friends, my teachers at school, my family, and especially the elders that I work with through my organization, Love for the Elderly. And this kind of helped me get out of that sad spot and really like de-stress myself so I
Yeah,
could live a happier and fuller life.
yeah,
And I definitely still experience that same stress. You know, I think like everyone experiences stress sometimes, no matter what,
hmm,
but it's on a much smaller scale. And I'm always trying to find ways to like de-stress myself and re-inspire myself so that I don't ever have to feel that same stress and have it take over my life again. Rather, like I'm the one in control.
yeah. That's cool. That's great. Great advice. Great advice. You're doing really good, man.
Thank you.
You know, we've had Nobel Peace Prize laureates. We've had knights, like as in the Queen of England, knighting people, huge business people, heads of state. We've had all kind of people on this podcast, and you're totally holding in there right with the best of them. So keep it going.
Thank you very much. I'm
I
flattered.
love this. So question four, and this is going to get really cool. Tell us about what you're doing to share hope on a daily basis. So obviously, I want to hear about the organization and how you're working with elderly. Anywhere else you want to go from there?
Yeah, so I founded a nonprofit called Love for the Elderly in 2013,
Hmm.
December of 2013. And basically, I was inspired to do that because my grandfather passed away. That was very hard for me. You know, I think anyone in your family, whenever they die, it's just a really hard time.
Hmm.
And it kind of opened my eyes to the reality of like isolation and vulnerability of the elderly in their final and most precious stage of life. It's so sad to think that we have such a limited time on this earth. And that kind of motivated me to start volunteering in my local nursing home. And there, it was a really great experience. I got to connect with so many elders and I'd go into their rooms and just be the one to light up their day. And that was such an amazing feeling.
Huh.
But I didn't feel like I had the power to make as much of an impact as I wanted to. So I started Love for the Elderly, like I said, in December of 2013, with the simple hope of bringing some love to some seniors. And it got a huge response. I started by writing letters in my living room, letters of kindness and love, and I would send them to my local nursing home. But over time, it totally expanded. And after I created like a website, social media, it totally blew up. And today I've reached over 51 countries, 6 continents, and 15,000 seniors.
Whoa.
I know it's honestly, it's really mind blowing to me because, like, I don't know, in my wildest dreams, like, I never imagined that I could do this kind of stuff and like make this much of a mark. But it's so heartwarming to see like the impact that it's had, like I don't know. I get these testimonials all the time, and like I see these pictures of seniors holding cards, and like I just started a senior buddy program, which is like a pen pal program that students and seniors write letters to each other each month, and they develop like this pen pal relationship. And they were just featured on one of the biggest news networks in the world called Rate Record, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to like watch them Skype each other, and it was so like I don't even know. It's awe-inspiring. That's what it is.
That's so amazing. So you got, I mean, that's a lot of countries, a lot of places, and a lot of seniors. So how are you? People are writing letters. Is it all pen pal? How else do people get involved? Like, what do they? Like, so I could adopt a senior, but is there? I mean, it's still a lot of stuff. It can't just be all pen pal.
No, it's not. So I have lots of different programs. The first program, which is like my main program, this is the one that's been around the longest. It's what I started with. It's the one that's most popular. My Letters of Love program.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where people from across the globe send me, or not me, my organization, anonymous letters. They're all handwritten, and they're just filled with like kind words to inspire and brighten the day of a senior, put a smile on their face. It's really great. That's a tremendous success. And I think because of how much success I saw with the Letters of Love program, that inspired me to start my senior buddy program, which I already talked about. And that's also been hugely successful. This year, it's just in a pilot program stage, but I'm looking forward to like expanding it next year because it had so much success this year, and it was just a really great experience to be able to do.
That's so cool. So are you still visiting your local nursing home?
Unfortunately, I'm not. I don't have quite the time for that anymore. But I really do love the experiences that I have there.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to be launching a new program this August called Sunshine Box, and I am planning on revisiting my old nursing home to distribute those Sunshine Boxes. And basically, what Sunshine Box is, it's a I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's basically going to be where I'm putting together 100 boxes of sunshine, just like fun, vibrant, bright yellow boxes that are designed. We're gonna be giving them to the seniors
Okay.
right in the morning, and hopefully it'll bring a smile to their face and bring some sunshine into their day.
Is there anything in the box?
Yes, there's stuff in the box. I'm going to be putting stuff like silly stuff like neon yellow sunglasses and like a little yellow lei, and then I'm also going to have some neater stuff like a smiley face stress ball that
Fun.
people use whenever they're feeling stressed, a yellow notepad and smiley face pen so that they can continue writing on and
Yeah.
catching their dreams. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I'm hoping it'll be successful.
I'm gonna come dress up like an elderly woman and just get a sunshine box. That's awesome.
Right.
That's so fun. Like it really is. All this is so engaging, and I
Thank
can
you.
see how people are catching on and wanting to do it with you because it's not just fun to the person who's getting it. It's fun to give it. You know?
I totally agree. It's fun to give and receive, and
Yeah.
that's a philosophy that I've always lived by. Like, it can make a difference for you and the receiver. There's this thing called the feel good, do good phenomenon,
Yep.
and it really does give you this warm, fuzzy, good feeling when you give back. And I've gotten that so many times on countless occasions where I honestly feel guilty how good I feel after I give. And that's an awesome feeling to know that like you're making a difference, but you feel so good about it.
Yeah, no kidding. Man, that's cool. That really is. All right, so question 5. This will be good. So, give us the simple steps, the ABCs, for how we should grow or share hope. So, when we get off of this call and everybody takes their earbuds out of their ears and quits listening to the podcast, what do we do right now? What's next to start growing in hope or sharing hope?
Personally, I think that the best way you can inspire and foster hope is by doing some random acts of kindness. You know, giving back is incredibly rewarding, as we just talked about, for the giver and the receiver, and it makes a difference too. And through my organization, I've seen this exact impact in action. I've really gotten to watch how much a single good deed can have in brightening another person's day. And it's something that undeniably creates this warm atmosphere of hope and of love and positivity. And that's something that we all should try to spread and share
That's awesome. That's so true and so simple.
for sure.
And it doesn't have to be at a nursing home. It could be the person next to you in line at Starbucks.
Exactly. There's no limits on this. You don't. It doesn't have to be with the elderly. Like my organization, I am making a difference with the elderly, but there are so many other people who deserve to feel that appreciation and feel that love and are in need. And there's
Mm,
so many opportunities to give back. It is not limited to one.
so true. All right, Jacob, how do we keep in touch? Website, social media, what do you have that you want to make public out there?
If you have the time, I would really appreciate it if you could all check out my website, lovefortheelderly.org. And all of my social media is right there in the top right hand corner. So if you're interested in following me on any of those as well, that would be fantastic because that's how I keep in touch with everyone and let everyone know what's going on with my organization and what we're up to.
Very cool. Lovefortheelderly.org, right? Okay. And if you're out for a run or at the grocery store and you don't have something to write on, at isharehope.com, you follow the links in the podcast or the videos, wherever you're at. And we'll put all of Jacob's links right there under Jacob's name. So it's Jacob Cramer, and that'll be the name you're looking for in the interview. And we'll have a picture of him and all his stuff there. So that's so awesome. So Jacob, tell me when you're just feeling like crap and you want to just kind of get it off your brain, what is your favorite song to listen to that just pumps you up?
Honestly, I wish I had just one, but it changes from week to week.
Same
I
here.
like all different songs all the time that are my favorite. So uh,
Who's your favorite artist right now?
right now, this is a really weird one. It's Uncover by Zara Larson. It's a really good song.
That's awesome. Yeah.
To it.
Great. And how about your favorite movie right now? What's your favorite movie you saw this summer?
Well, I just saw Finding Dory, and that was pretty great.
Yes. I'm so serious. It was so great.
Yeah,
I love Ellen. She does such a killer job in that role, you know?
I totally agree. Yeah, I'm actually a camp counselor this summer with kindergartners, and they were all telling me how amazing this movie was, and I didn't want to feel left out, so I went to see it a couple of weeks ago, and it was great.
I know. I just saw it like a week ago. Finally, I got a little late. We were traveling a bunch this summer, but man, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have a dog or a cat or a pet?
I do. I have a wonderful miniature Labradoodle named Callie. She is my love, and she's just great. She's 4 years old.
A miniature Labradoodle. I see Labradoodles around, like they're hyperallergenic. They're really cool
Yeah.
dogs, but is it truly like a,
Yeah, she's like 15 pounds. She's
oh,
so sweet and adorable. You can fit her in your purse if you want.
that's so cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. When we leave out of here, you can say your name and I share hope. That's the last quote we get from each person. We kind of plug it up at the beginning of the audio version of this for the podcast. So I'll be quiet for a second. You say, obviously, Jacob Cramer and I share hope. Don't laugh. Whatever you do, don't laugh.
Sorry. I'm Jacob Cramer, and I share hope.
Awesome. Now do one more of those and say, I'm Jacob Cramer with Love for the Elderly and I Share Hope, or however you'd want to phrase that.
Okay. I'm Jacob Cramer, the founder of Love for the Elderly, and I share hope.
Man, that's great. You're a natural at this. Obviously, you've been on a stage a few times. I can tell.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so
All right. So where do you want to go with this next? I mean, you're 15. You're like way ahead of most kids your age. Not just because you have something cool you're doing, but your opportunities. You're speaking. You're engaging. You're engaging on a level that's not common for a teenager. What do you hope to do, or do you even know or care? You just want to be 15 and keep living. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to wherever the future takes me. I'm hoping to continue developing and pursuing Love for the Elderly because I think there's a great road ahead of me and my organization. And I'd like to continue making a difference no matter what I do or where I go. I just want to be able to inspire other people and really make a mark.
I think you got that part figured out, Jacob.
Thank you so much.
You bet, man. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. It's great talking to you. We'll stay in touch.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the top 10 actions of hope from world leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.